Well, them is his titles. It's all respect. Like I told everybody for a long time. I'm like, man, me and Canelo. I got a ton of respect for Canelo. I'm a fan of Canelo. I've always been a fan of Canelo, and I wanted to be the one to give him back his belts. I didn't want my team to hand him back his belts. I wanted to be the one to give him back his belts.
Yeah. The only thing I told him was that you could not give Canelo the center of the ring. And earlier you gave it to him, but then you started outboxing him and outsmarting him with it, and he started taking it back at the right time. So he studied the film very well. He knew when to fight, when to move left and when to move right. He was a very smart fight. He completely frustrated Canelo.
Everything I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory, in a test tube, because that was science. That was pure science. No two ways.
The arena witnessed history as Crawford shocked the world by beating Canelo in a fight nobody saw coming. The energy was electric. Fans and experts were left speechless as boxing entered a new era. In the middle of it all, Crawford's father stepped forward and said, "I knew my son was that good." His words were calm and confident, not surprised. They reflected years of hard work, late nights, and a father's unshakable faith, a reminder that greatness is built step by step, not overnight. In that single line, he captured a lifetime of belief and a victory that will change boxing forever. Just as the excitement settled, Roy Jones gave his take. His voice carried the authority of experience, showing he knows greatness when he sees it.
Brother, he's going to be up there somewhere close to the top 5, I promise you.
The statement wasn't casual. It came from Roy Jones, one of boxing's all-time greats, and gave even more impact to Crawford's win. It wasn't hype, it was true recognition, the kind that makes history. With that, Crawford's victory became more than just a win. It set a new standard against the very best. Now the conversation has shifted to where he stands among the legends. Then veteran analyst Gareth A. Davies spoke, a voice respected for analyzing the sport with sharp insight. His reaction showed both awe and authority, capturing the full importance of what had just happened.
I picked Canelo because I thought he was so much bigger, almost three weight divisions above him. But the majesty and poise of Terence Crawford's brilliance tonight was to the fore. I had it 9-3. I can just about see 8-4, the 16-12 score. I cannot see 7-5 from 2 of the judges. Terence Crawford tonight, speed of thought, speed of hands, speed of feet, took it to Canelo when he had to. Canelo had no answers to him. For me, Terence Crawford moves up to the #1 pound-for-pound spot in the sport right now, above Naoya Inoue, above Alexander Usyk. He is incredible to become historically a 3-weight undisputed world champion. It just beggars belief what he's managed to do. He was immense tonight. He took it with humility. There was a little bit of emotion afterwards, but from first to last, I have to say it, Canelo did not have the answers for him. So let's take nothing away from Crawford. It was all of his doing.
Oh, absolutely.
He was the one that made Canelo look older, slower, and without the right.
This wasn't just praise, it was a technical analysis delivered with precision. Every point highlighted Crawford's control, his skill in every part of the fight, coming from an experienced eye. It wasn't flattery, but fact drawn from ringside observation. It showed Crawford's performance not as an upset, but as a masterpiece. In that moment, his place at the top of boxing felt certain. Then Adam Catterall weighed in, breaking it down with clear detail. His analysis was all about facts, showing exactly how Crawford dismantled a champion step by step.
Schooled him. He schooled him from start to finish. Listen, it was cagey at the start, don't get me wrong. There was a little bit of nip and tuck, there was a little bit of downloading the data, seeing what the situation is. Interesting that for the full 12 rounds, he only boxed in southpaw. No switch hitting tonight, stayed in southpaw. A little bit of downloading of the data, and then just gradually went through the gears up to round 4, and that's when he started to put his foot down. Everything Canelo did tonight, Bud Crawford had an...
Every word highlighted the control Crawford maintained from the first bell to the last. It wasn't just about winning rounds, it was about commanding the fight. Adam's breakdown showed how flawless the performance was. Nothing missed, no weakness exposed. It was a true masterclass that elevated Crawford's legend even more. Adam didn't stop there. He went deeper, explaining what made the night so remarkable. His words carried the excitement of someone still living in the moment of history being made.
If you go back and watch the previews that we did throughout the course of the week, we said that this is a game of IQ. There's going to be movement within the fight. You're going to have to answer different types of questions and bring different types of game plan. Crawford did that. He was able to do it backwards. He was able to do it forwards. He could trade in the pocket, catch the stuff, and then counter. He was absolutely magnificent. Listen, I know this is raw and we've only just walked out the stadium, right?
10 minutes ago.
And when the dust settles on this, we'll probably have better answers and better thought processes. And I'm sure people watching this will get stuck into the comments and maybe say what I'm about to say is quite outlandish. That might be the single best performance that I have ever witnessed live. It was absolutely tremendous. You've got to take into consideration the weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound-for-pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend.
This wasn't analysis just for the sake of it, it was admiration for a performance that redefined what boxing could be. The way Crawford adapted, countered, and controlled every moment was a masterpiece in motion. Adams' reflection captured the feeling that we had witnessed something rare, unforgettable, a fight that will be remembered as one of the great displays of skill. He then stepped back to look at the bigger picture of Crawford's rise. His perspective made the victory feel even more monumental.
This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound-for-pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas and managed to beat him on the cards when the judges tried to do him. Mate, it is out of this world what Terence Crawford just did. And he needs all the flowers in the world. He needs all the praise in the world. And I don't think you're wrong, mate, by saying he's the pound-for-pound #1. It's an ever-moving list. That performance alone deserves to put him right at the top.
He reminded everyone of the climb, the long odds, and the biggest stage in the sport. It wasn't just about defeating Canelo, it was about overcoming everything that made it seem impossible. Adams' words showed Crawford as more than a winner. They portrayed him as a maker of history. With that, the victory became one of boxing's greatest achievements, deserving every honor and every accolade. Then Paulie Malignaggi stepped in, starting his breakdown with a statement that set the tone. His words didn't just recap the fight, they framed the night as a moment in history.
Terence "Bud" Crawford makes history. I mean, that's the only way I can really start out this video. A lot to unpack on an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. Wasn't the most exciting fight, but really it was about Bud Crawford. It was about what he accomplished tonight, and it was about, you know, becoming the first undisputed world champion in the 4-belt era in 3 different weight classes. Really, and the way he did it, and you know, the class that he showed all throughout the preparation, and just flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely.
She highlighted what really mattered: Crawford's achievement and the way he carried himself. It wasn't about showmanship or drama, but about control and composure. Paulie showed a fighter who has quietly built one of the most complete careers in the sport, a career defined not just by victories, but by giving opponents almost nothing. Paulie went further, focusing on the tactics. His analysis wasn't just about what Crawford did, but how intelligently he did it.
Really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly at the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved Crawford, you know. There were some good body shots Canelo was throwing, but Crawford started countering those very, very well. I think the key point started coming once after the first round. Crawford shifted a lot and moved a lot. I wanted to just kind of see where Canelo's power was at. He caught a couple of shots on the gloves, and I think there came a point in the first 1 or 2 rounds where Crawford said, this guy's not as strong as I thought, because he started seeing Crawford hold his ground more and more, and he started seeing Crawford, you know, doing a lot of catching.
Every adjustment, every counter showed a fighter in complete control. Paulie explained how even when Canelo looked for openings, Crawford neutralized his power with perfect timing and precision. It was boxing IQ at its finest. His analysis made it clear that Crawford didn't just get through the fight, he broke down his opponent with smart strategy from the first round. Then Paulie focused on Crawford's sharpness, showing how Canelo's Frustration slowly took over.
A lot of catching and shooting, you got to be willing to take the shot, even if you're going to block it. If a guy's a big puncher, even blocking it can be uncomfortable. And Crawford started getting comfortable catching and shooting, especially when Canelo tried to go to the body. Crawford was catching the shots and coming back by the counters. Sharp shots. Crawford never loaded up, but he was sharp the whole night. Sharp with the jab, sharp with the counters, some well-placed body shots as well. Canelo landed here and there. I thought Canelo got really frustrated. I felt that headbutt was a little bit more than accidental, to tell you the truth, when he cut Crawford. I thought that was a little bit more of frustration, because the headbutt may have been accidental, but then you saw Canelo kind of dig his head in Crawford's face. So I thought there was some frustration from Canelo's perspective, because he ran out.
The picture was clear. Crawford was catching, shooting, and striking with precision. It wasn't about brute strength, but discipline and perfect timing. Paulie's words showed how Canelo, running out of ideas, turned to rough tactics that only exposed his unraveling. Meanwhile, Crawford stayed calm and composed, turning every exchange into a reminder of who was in control. Paulie didn't hold back in his take on Canelo under pressure. His breakdown was honest, direct, and full of hard truth.
He has not shown an ability to both make an adjustment nor go for it and put his balls on the line. Not saying he's got no heart. Obviously, Canelo's been a very good fighter. I'm just saying there's a reason why the Mexican greats all have criticism for this guy. You know, Marquez, Morales, Barrera, and he's done disrespectful things to them, like not getting, like block their credentials from his fights and things of that nature, not let them cover fights. This is what they're talking about, dude. Every time this guy is behind, every time this guy needs to put his balls on the line, he just cruises to a decision loss and is content to do it. And then afterwards says, Viva Mexico, cabrones, and his groupies just appease him and clap. These guys come from a different cloth. You know, the Mexican machismo of the old school greats in Mexican boxing is a different level. Not everyone is expected to live up to it, but the Mexican fighters themselves that did live up to it, they expect the new ones to live up to it. So when they don't, naturally they're going to express that. And of course, there's been some criticism from those kind of guys. And I'm not saying Canelo hasn't done some really good things, guys. It's not that. You can criticize a guy and still say he's been a good fighter and all this other stuff. But I think tonight, once again,
the contrast was clear. Crawford rose to the occasion when it mattered most, while Canelo appeared to hold back. Paulie's words highlighted why Mexican legends have often faced criticism. It wasn't about dismissing Canelo's career, but showing what separates true greatness from playing it safe. In that final take, Crawford's resilience stood out while Canelo's limits were exposed. Then Big John Fisher spoke, delivering his verdict with the directness fans appreciate. His reaction was brief but packed with impact.
From Terence Crawford, Canelo tried everything, kept coming forward, kept throwing, but as soon as he got him where he wanted him, Terence just got out of trouble and was landing shots as he did it. Unbelievable.
He made it clear how one-sided the fight had been. Crawford didn't just win, he controlled every moment with skill and calm. Big John's words highlighted the gap in level between the two fighters. It wasn't about luck or chance, it was pure mastery. And to him, that was incredible. Big John Fisher then shared another thought, this time showing respect for both fighters. His words balanced admiration with honesty.
There's a golfing class there, and I don't know whether Canelo will be able to gap that at his age in life. So, listen, two great warriors, two great champions. Honor to be here.
He explained that sometimes the difference in skill is simply too great to overcome for Canelo. Age and timing may have made the challenge too steep, but Big John didn't downplay the fight. He recognized it for what it was, two champions giving their all. His take balanced the excitement of Crawford's brilliance with respect for a warrior who came up short. Then Johnny Fisher added his analysis, highlighting the small details that made all the difference. His words showed that Crawford's control wasn't just physical, it was mental too.
Every round he came out and started that round with the first 20-30 seconds and made an impression on the judges. And that not only makes an impression on the judges, it sets the tone to the other fighter. They end up in a psychological state where they think they've got to go and chase the rest of the round. But I just think, I was waiting for that turn, what Canelo does, round 6, round 7, to turn the tide of the fight, like he did against Billy Joe or Caleb Plant, but it never happened. And even though Crawford's two weight classes down from him, he didn't look like that. He looked like he was incorrectly.
And you guys knew what was going to happen. You were in denial. That shit looked easier than Earl Spence. Did it look, huh?
It's a brilliant performance. Brilliant performance.
Man. Shout out to Team Crawford, Bo Mack, and that whole team, man.
A year out of the ring. I think it was like 13 some odd months out of the ring, okay?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. 2 weight classes. Think about that.
Yep.
He had surgery early at the beginning of the year, surgery on the shoulder surgery, right? Not sure which one. And to come in here and to put on that type of performance against Canelo that actually is coming off a performance, right? You expected Canelo to be sharp. He was sharp. However, what Crawford did was he took the air out of the ball.
Yeah.
He used this. That's what boxing's about, people. It's about this. Strategy. That's what he had. He used his feet. He understood Canelo every single movement. That's why Canelo couldn't land any shots on him. He knew what was coming. He knew that the looping right hand was going to come from the southpaw position. So what did he do? Hold the phone. He knew that the hook to the body was going to come. What did he do? Block, and he shot him.
One of those things that are not so easily as immeasurable on paper, but it's eyes, vision,
focus.
We know the physical ones we talk about and we understand so easily. Speed, power, quickness, legs, all that stuff. But eyes, just radar. This guy's got infrared. I said it yesterday when I was doing a thing with Stephen A. They said, what's the biggest difference? I said, the biggest difference, remember the first time you were watching TV, regular TV, and the first time you saw 3D? You say, whoa, 3D, wow, that's different. That's better. That's this guy. He's 3D. The other guy's old-fashioned black and white TV. And I'm not knocking him. I know the Mexican fans. I love you guys, by the way. And here come the arrows.
You better duck.
I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, Crawford's, like he said, he's a generational talent. He's better. He's different. Not just because of athleticism. Because.
All right, everyone. Stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Ring Headquaterzz and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.